It's Mike Unleashed on the BetRivers Network.
It's now time to swing into Sixers and Flyers updates here. So the Sixers lose last night on a call that the referees admitted after the game they should have made the call. The Clippers were a 6-point favorite in that game last night, and that was a line that caught my eye on the BetRivers app. So I needed that game to go into overtime. I bet based on lines, and so I needed a Uber to get fouled there and make one of two, send into overtime, and maybe the Clippers could have got a 6-point win, but instead they got a 1-point win, and so the Sixers are now still in they are into the 8th spot because of that loss. They're in the play-in right now, and if they're in the 8th spot and the Heat stay in the 7th spot, that would mean they would play the Heat. If they won that game, they would get the 7th spot. If they lost that game, they would have to meet the winner of 9-10. And again, we're talking about the return of Embiid, and would they put him through 2 games of a play-in tournament before the playoffs actually even start? They say he's back on the court. There's still no update on whether, again, they're going to drag this out, folks, and I've got the sneaky suspicion that when it's dragged out and they end up in the play-in, that they're going to say, screw it. So we'll see what happens. Now let's talk about the Flyers. The Flyers are in a good spot. So let me give you just some statistics. The start of the year, the Flyers had a 1% chance to make the playoffs. They currently stand at an 81% chance of making the playoffs with 9 games left to play. Of the 9, 7 are against non-playoff teams, even though 5 of them are on the road. So they're at Montreal, Blackhawks, Islanders, at Buffalo, at Columbus, at Montreal, before they go at the Rangers, which is the first playoff team they will have to play in the remaining 9, and Jersey, a non-playoff team, and then Washington's a playoff team in the last game of the year. So they're going to get in, and that's a triumph for the Flyers to get in there. The only thing that can happen here is that the wild card teams are the Lightning and the Caps. The Caps have 81 points. They're in the Flyers division. So, and then you have to look at the Red Wings at 79. So the Flyers have 3 points in hand over the Red Wings. That's the only spot that they could lose. If the Flyers start losing and the Red Wings gain some points, they could possibly get nosed out. But it's not going to look like that. The Flyers, I think, are going to be in. So tip of the cap to the new regime who we had on Jonesy and of course Danny Briere. The Flyers are going to be in the playoffs. It's going to be exciting. So on one hand, you got the excitement of the Flyers, and the other hand, you got the play-in for the Sixers. That seems askew. It doesn't seem like it's right. All right, on that note, let's go into Mike Unleashed. The first story is the hottest story that's going on right now. I talk about it. It's the Ohtani story. Okay, so he came out. This is amazing that this guy now has the protection of the language. He doesn't have to he doesn't have to have a press conference. He makes a statement in Japanese, and another interpreter says what he's saying, and he says he's got no association. He didn't know this guy was doing it. Now there are 2 things at work here. One is, how could this interpreter have access to his funds? Maybe he does. I can tell you the professional athletes don't deal with anything. They don't know what the hell's going on with their account. They got so many people that are running their lives because they're baseball superstars that it's possible that maybe this guy had access to his account and he didn't know what was going on because he never checks. But the other thing is, do his agents check? Now, he's represented by CAA. The head of the baseball operations for CAA agency resigned yesterday. Now, why did he resign? Because he didn't pay attention to this whole situation, and because clients that are now going to mistrust him? I don't know, but you can connect the 2 dots on that. So the question you have to ask yourself is, did Ohtani know about paying off this guy's debts, gambling debts? And if he did, why didn't he do anything about it? I don't know what Major League Baseball is going to do here, but Ohtani is like the mystery man. Like, you're not going to be able to get to him. He's this mystery Japanese guy, doesn't speak the language. He happens to be the biggest star in the game today. What will Major League do about it? Will they suspend him for his delinquency? Who knows what they'll do? So
can I ask you this one question? Let me ask you one question about this, Mike. So if you're a bookmaker, right?
Mm-hmm.
Are you going to allow anyone? You know how much this guy makes. He only makes about 100 grand a year, whatever it is, 150 grand a year. They know who it is. If it is in fact the translator making the bets and funneling the money, are you going to allow this guy to run up a $4.5 million tab without knowing for certain that Ohtani is going to either cover it, knows about it, or is making the bets himself?
If you're the bookie, you go, he's backed by Ohtani. Like
that's what I mean.
It's like a surety for a bookie.
I understand.
He wasn't backed by. He knows Ohtani has it, and they know that if Ohtani doesn't,
that he's going to get it. Right?
Hold on a second. If they know that if Ohtani doesn't pay it, they can get the guy in trouble. So they've got leverage on Ohtani, and they know he's a source. So that if I'm a bookie, it's not that big of a risk for me. I got the surety of Ohtani because I can always say, "Hey, listen, man, you give me the $4.5 million, I'm going to expose you." So I don't look at it that way. I look at it more on Ohtani and his agencies and his bank not being responsible enough to let him know. And if they did let him know, Major League Baseball is going to go, guess what? You got to go down for that. We got to suspend you for 20 games. So we'll see what happens. All right. Jeffrey Lurie spoke at the owners' meeting. Here's my reaction. Come on, man. The same nonsense that you hear from this guy, and we believe in Nick, and I don't want to hear from you anymore. I don't want to hear from Jeffrey. I don't want to hear from you. Okay? I know it's a story, whatever. That's my reaction to it. Snore. All right, let's move on. New kickoff rule in the NFL. Mr. Football, you explain it to the people. Go ahead. You explain it, Mr. Football.
Well, so I've read it a few times, and I'm still not clear on it. What I can tell you that I am sure of is that the kicker lines up on his own 35-yard line like normal, but his kicking coverage team, they line up, I believe, on the
40
receiving team's 40-yard line.
No, not the receiving team. They're on the 40-yard line on their side at a standstill.
Okay, I thought it was the other.
No, the kicker is 5 yards behind them, so they're in front of them, but they can't get a running start.
I got that.
They have to wait till they kick.
Yeah, I mean it's good. We're not far from zero kickoffs. I think.
Wait, you didn't give me the specifics of it.
I
came to you. You're Mr. Football. Give me the specifics. Wait, what are you giving? If the ball goes in the end zone, it starts at the 30. They're trying to get the ball kicked into a zone where you can receive it and run back. You don't even know the specifics. You're Mr. Football. I went to you because you're Mr. Football. You give me your gods.
You
didn't even have the fundamental thing right on where they line up.
It's all designed to it's a bridge to zero.
Your Mr. Football status has taken a hit.
You told me to shush. Now you
People want the specifics. That's why I went to you. I know more specifics about it than you do.
Mike, you shushed.
You studied it 3 times. You studied it 3 times. You got the kicking team on the other side of the 40. Come on.
Are you still? I'll wait. I'll wait.
I'm just saying.
The main gist of it is that there's only a limited space to receive the ball. The receiving team only gets about 25 yards in that to receive the ball. Otherwise, it's basically a touchback.
No, you're missing the whole point of it. The touchback now costs them. Okay? It cost you. A touchback now costs you. So kickers now have to practice their placement by kicking it higher to the 5-yard line. That's what the upshot of it is, because you're punished if you don't. All right, very disappointing analysis by you. All right, let's move on. Jason Kelsey got all kinds of offers from networks. I would say that his best move would be NBC's pregame show. And here's why. It's in New York. It's an easy commute from Philly, where he lives here. And they're going to have some openings. They only have 2 members under contract. JB and JJ Watt are the only 2 under contract for that show, which means without a contract, but you can renew them, Phil Simms, Coach Cowher, and Coach Cowher. It makes me nuts. And Boomer. Now, if I'm NBC,
That's the CBS line.
I zip those guys, bang, get them. Like, I don't need Sims. I don't need Boomer. And I would bring in Kelsey for that spot, and I keep Nate Burleson. All right, that's my 4-man. I zip Coach Cowher. Could you have 2 meatheads? All right, meatheads. J.J. Watt, Kelsey. Can you exist with 2 meatheads without a cerebral quarterback on the show? That's what you got to consider. So ESPN is after him. Everybody else is after him. So we'll see what happens. But he's got the world by the coolioons at this point, Jason Kelsey. He might make more money as a broadcaster he ever made as a football player. That's the bottom line. He's in high demand. So if you represent him, man, your price goes up. Oh, NBC, you want him? Guess what? ESPN's offering me this. You got to beat that. Or at Fox, hey, they're going to beat that. It's a tremendous spot for him to be in. All right, let's move on. Vince Young, the former Eagle quarterback, former superstar at Texas Longhorns who upset Ohio State that year. He got knocked out in a Houston bar. I don't know what to say about that. I don't have anything else to say. It's just a statement. Vince Young got knocked out in a Houston bar. When you're an ex-athlete, getting knocked out in a bar by some patron has a bigger stain. I remember when Dallas Goedert got knocked out. It's like you don't expect football players to get knocked out. Vince, I don't know what you did, but you took the heat. You got knocked out. I hope you're all right. All right, let's move on. Ice Cube has offered $5 million to Caitlin Clark to join the Big Three. She's going to make a minimum, the league minimum in the WNBA next year, which is $75,000. So if she joins the Big Three, it's a big financial windfall for her. However, if she joins the Big Three, do you not think that the guys that are already playing in the Big Three are going to try to just humiliate her? Do you think that they're going to, like, this is a competitive league, these guys play. They're ex-pros. What are they going to do? We're going to treat her with kid gloves? She's making $5 million, more than they're making. Do you think they're going to be pissed off about that? I know Ice Cube is looking at the whole effect for his league. I get it. But she's going to get hurt. The girl's going to get hurt. What will she do? Will she take the $5 million? I don't think she will. That's $5 million. Now, she's going to get a lot of endorsements. They're going to supplement her salary in WNBA, so she's going to be fine. She probably doesn't need the $5 million. I would advise her not, because if she goes to the basket, somebody wants to inhale that. All right? So let's move on. Let's get to let's close it down with a parting shot. This story interests me because I appreciate when fans get like overly rabid. Like I used to get a kick out of the Padilla Flotilla, these in the Wolf Pack and all that kind of stuff. This is at another level. There's a guy from Roxborough. His name is John McLaughlin. He went to Archbishop Carroll from Roxborough. Some Roxborough kids go to Archbishop Carroll. He has a scholarship to go there, whatever. It's a better opportunity for him. And he wound up becoming a lawyer, going to Drexel, and joined the JAG Corps. So he's been all around. But his claim to fame now is that he is starting a Garrett Stubbs Club chapter here in Philadelphia, and he's a country singer because they called him a Philbilly. He took that and ran with it, and he's got it's called the Philbilly Country Album, and he's got. Let me just get a couple of the songs he has in there. It's under his name. His recording nickname is Johnny Rockhead, and it features it features songs like "Irish Goodbye" and "Cherry Water Ice" WOODER. But he is installing the Garrett Stubbs Club, which actually started in Fresno, California. When Garrett Stubbs, I don't know, has this effect on people where he's a fan favorite. I don't personally get it at all. But in Fresno, when he was in the minor leagues, they had a Garrett Stubbs Club. So this guy researched it, and he's going to start it here. The requirements are, and it'll be a spot in a tailgate area of the parking lot at Citizens Bank Ballpark. And to gain entry into the Garrett Stubbs Club, you have to wear the overalls that he made famous at the end of the year, and a cardboard Budweiser 32 pack hat that you saw that he was wearing in the clubhouse. Now, this just is not my style. Okay?
Yeah, you got to be kidding me. with this.
But I can't listen. Anybody that takes their fandom to that level, I guess I have to appreciate. I don't quite get it, but I just wanted to get your thoughts, Darren, as we close this down.
Look, I agree with you. I appreciate that he's a fan and a fan of Garrett Stubbs. He's a pretty educated guy. Usually you hear this stuff from young kids coming up from graduating from high school. I don't know. I wouldn't. It's not my bag either. I also like the Padilla Flotilla when they're really creative like that. This guy's the backup catcher and the clubhouse DJ. I mean, it's an odd cat.
Well, here's the thing. You can take a kid out of Roxborough. You probably can't take the Roxborough out of a kid. So no matter where he's going in life. And he's traveled all over the world. He's a Jag Corps guy. So he's been all around. Hey, listen, if being the head of the Garrett Stubbs Club here in Philly turns you on, I say, a salud. All right, so congratulations. You want to join the Garrett Stubbs Club, get in touch with this guy. Don't forget to bring your Budweiser hat. Your cardboard hat and get your overalls, which I thought looked ridiculous. But that's just me, all right, because I'm one of those cynical guys. All right, that's going to do it for the Mike Missanelli podcast for today. Thanks, everybody, for listening. Brought to us by BetRivers. I am on a bad streak right now, and so I need the NCAA tournament to get me back whole. And I'm going to tell you that I like Iowa State. They're minus 1.5 against Illinois, who has an unstoppable player on their team. Now, that line gets me a little bit because Iowa State can play some defense. So that is the game that I'm focused on. I'm riding with Iowa State on my BetRivers app so I can get whole again. I don't know how you're going to go, but good luck to you. All right, you can reach me, Mike at mikeymiss.com. If you have something to email me about, love to have emails. Mike Miss 25 is how you get to me on Twitter. And don't forget, we're coming up on spring season. So if you're inclined to be down the shore, Cape May Courthouse, stop by the winery that I have part ownership in. It's called the Tally Vineyards. It's not going to be served at Citizens Bank Ballpark, but it'll be served right there at the Tally Vineyards. And in my house, by the way, in case you want to stop over. I got a few bottles, and Darren's got a few bottles as well, right?
Yeah, I get a couple bottles, half a dozen bottles or so from you every year, or I get my own. So, yeah.
All right. Have a great rest of the day, everybody. And hopefully, if you're going to the ball game on Friday, that's tomorrow, you have a good experience down there. And the Phils win behind Zach Wheeler. Have a great day, everybody. It's cold and rainy. Just wade through it. Tomorrow's a better day. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.